Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Comic Bookies podcast. Whether you're watching live on YouTube and Twitch right now, or you're listening around the world, thank you so much for downloading, subscribing, and listening. This week we have plenty to get into in sports. The Major League Baseball wildcard games are now officially done. We have some live updates for the Cardinals and Dodgers game, and let's give our picks for this year's playoffs. NASCAR rounds out the round of 12 playoffs at the Charlotte Roval. And, of course, football, NCAA, and a wild Week 4 heading into Week 5. Over on the comic side, we have plenty of books to get into, plenty of books to review, plenty of books to preview, and also, we have a movie to review, Many Saints of Newark. So if you're listening right now, please cover your ears or fast forward to the part because we will give spoilers. Also, we have a GTA trilogy remastered news. Ben Affleck is proud to be Batman again, and many, many more. But sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode. It's glad to be back live on the Comic Bookies podcast. Let's do it, fellas.
I like it. Smooth operator.
What's up, everybody?
What is up? 127 people.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back. Just making sure I had the settings right. Sometimes I kind of mess things up. Like, when you're, like, because everything's out in the garage, so the kids are out here, and then, kids go by and turn your thing up, your volume, so you hear a lot more than what you should be, so it feels like there's, that the echo and everything in the back. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? But nothing's really wrong. It's just that the volume's all messed with, so. Yeah, if you're ready to go, sir, I'm ready to go.
Rock and roll. I like it.
On here. Let's multi-stream. Let's see who's chatting with us. Hopefully people can jump in today and watch. It's not too late. So usually we're a lot later than this, so we should be done before 11 o'clock. So everyone enjoy the episode tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, hell funny, Sean. You know how you were like, God, it takes so fucking long for it to load. I mean, I think people... Oh, no, never mind. When we're on the starting screen, everyone else but me is muted. That's why I have to mute mine. Okay, so you're good.
I protect myself.
No, job security, as we call it at Lamb Research.
Exactly. That is.
Security. Okay.
That's our favorite word.
Going back live in 5, 4... Oh, I guess not now. I'm going to get this. Make sure... Okay. And we are back, folks, to the Comic Bookies podcast. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Mark, unfortunately, is not with us. He's celebrating his lovely daughter's birthday, so happy birthday to your daughter, Mark. But myself, Mike, and this guy, this beautiful man sitting across from me on Skype is Sean. Welcome in, everyone, to episode 127. Like every single week, we're brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Today, Wednesday, October 6th, 2021, is New Comic Book Day, so go and check out the shop, or please go check out all the shops that you guys visit all around the United States, all around the world. Support those local businesses and get those books, man. Get those books, because all the movies, all the TV shows that you see, odds are about 90% of them have come from a graphic novel. So enjoy, folks. So, Sean, it's been a while since I've been on live, because we took sort of a week off when we went to Vegas. We'll get into that in a minute. And then I missed last week just because, I wanted to catch up with the family, being gone for 4.5 days. And then, so this week. So it's finally great to be back on live for the fans, getting an episode in. What's up, bro?
Always good to have you back, my man. It has felt like a very long time, but it is episode 127. The dynamic duo back together, Mike and myself. Mark, we love you. Definitely understandable that you're not here. To Lizzie, my beautiful goddaughter, happy birthday. I hope you guys are celebrating it right. But yeah, man, definitely a fun little episode we're going to have tonight, all this fun stuff. But, everything's good, bro. I can't complain. Definitely feeling this weather change a little bit. Mm-hmm. When I take a little buster to the bathroom in the afternoon, might need to get that jacket and sweater on soon. Yeah. Starting to get more in the 70s and 60s. But no, man, I can't complain. Sports is good. Got some damn good movies, some good books. What more can I ask for, man?
Yeah, it's true. Like I went on a walk today with my daughter, and it was it's like the change in the season to where if you're out in the open and the sun's shining, it feels like, it's kind of hot. But then when you're in the shade and the wind starts picking up, it gets freezing, So it's kind of those things where half the walk you need to be in a jacket, and half the walk you can be in a tank top and in shorts and stuff. So it's kind of weird navigating through that right now. Unfortunately, yeah, like the whole house was sick, when we were in Vegas, and then I finally caught a little bit of it last weekend. So pretty much over it. Hopefully that was just one of those things where, the season's changing, you're going to get the cold. It's kind of new and it's kind of new all over again, like getting sick because for me at least, we haven't been sick for over 2 years because we haven't really done anything, because we're trying to not get COVID. But then when we get the cold, we're like, oh my God, I have the sniffles, I think I just coughed twice in 60 seconds. I need to go get tested. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird how pre-COVID we were like, nope, it's just the one time a year I get sick. This sucks, I'll go ahead and bring some Kleenex and cover my cough and do what I need to do. But it was never, a second thought,
Well, I'm going to be typical Sean here as I was in last week's episode and break the news that the Dodgers just walked off with a 2-run homer.
So Dodgers versus Giants in the first round of the playoffs.
Like The Rock said, just bring it.
Yeah, dude. So,
but to what?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun playoff come Monday or Friday. Holy crap! Should took my attention away, but no, definitely happy. The kids. Hopefully they're doing all right. You and Danielle. Definitely happy we're back from Vegas. We had such a damn good time with Forrest. Unfortunately, we didn't go to the race, but we know you guys did. And just a trip in a whole. It was an awesome time. So
yeah,
an NASCAR race, bro. I'm sure you had a great time.
Yeah, I'll give my review of the race. The race is cool.
Yes.
Like the track itself is cool. I'll have a full Comic Bookie Mike Yelp review for the actual facility itself and what it gives fans, or in this case, what it doesn't give fans. But, this is only my third track I've been to, so this may be the same thing around the whole United States as far as NASCAR tracks are concerned. But that was what a weekend. You finally got to experience what I experienced last year, just chilling, just chilling, going to go off-roading or just hanging out by the water, drinking some beers, cooking up some dogs and some steaks and stuff. And me and Joe introduced you and Forrest to a new drinking game that's that's been popular in the fraternity houses, So, but the good old game of Snap got us feeling pretty good, and I had a hell of fun, dude.
It did its job, bro. And of course, thanks to Forrest, one of our best friends, letting us go. It will not be our last time. Good old Logandale, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, that's right.
No, definitely good times, man.
Yeah. So on to the actual meat and potatoes of the podcast. So let's get into sports first. So speaking of the Dodgers, speaking of the Giants, that's locked in. That's the first round playoff matchup. It's what ESPN wanted. St. Louis had that tear of when they went 13 or 14 games in a row. They passed Cincinnati. They passed they were kind of flirting with the Central with Milwaukee. Didn't get there. But come on, Dodgers, Giants, come on. That's what people wanted.
I mean, it is still one of the longest rivalries going back to the days of who knows what.
When they were on the other side of the country in New York.
Exactly, and for ratings-wise and for, I think, just sole purpose of getting this baseball playoffs where people are going to be watching it and saying, okay, that's a damn game you want to watch. You want every series. People are going to be like, oh, that's a good series. I want to watch that. That one sucks. We want to stay away from those series. And Giants Dodgers, like you said, bro, it doesn't get any better than that. Two teams that had 100-plus wins, the two best records in baseball, and here we are in the first round of the playoffs and the NLDS basically already.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of crappy that one of those two teams with almost 110 wins has to get eliminated in 5 games. I think that's why they did that, years ago. I remember when I was first watching baseball and my dad said, the rule is that even with the wild card, the A's and the Angels could not play in the first round. Like if the A's were the first seed or the Angels were the first seed, then the wild card team of the AL West, they wouldn't play them. So one seed would play the 3 seed, the lowest division winner, and then that second division winner would get to play the wild card team. I think it was just, I don't know, because they played 18 to 22 times a year, so they were like, we'll give them a break, and we'll get that rivalry, that Giants-Dodgers rivalry in the NLCS. Maybe they were hoping for something like that, like Yankees-Dodgers. Yankees-Red Sox, which that was also a pretty good game last night, kind of.
It was,
not for the Yankees fans.
Yeah, I guess I get I see both sides of it because at least you're gonna get that series. Because if we don't have the Giants Dodgers, they go off and play their own teams. If one does lose, you kind of damn, we missed out on the possibility of them playing.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Either way, we're playing the Dodgers. That's all I can say right now, bro. The energy is up right now. I'm very excited. And the playoffs as a whole, Yankees lost. It's always a great thing. It's always a holiday for America. Good for
Yeah.
everybody. And there's some damn good teams, man. The Brewers got to watch out for. I think for every NL team, you're actually happy the Cardinals are out because they're a team that was just freaking rolling along and they had that big winning streak. The Rays, one of the most boringest teams, yet their ERA is like top 7, top 10 in baseball. I seen something that A-Rod, out of all people, brought up yesterday in that game. That he was calling the game. They lost like their 3 starters from last year, and they have a better ERA than last year, and they average like the 4th most runs in baseball. So how the Rays do it, bro, I have no idea. But
That's crazy.
100 wins, man, crazy.
That's crazy. But, small little congrats to the Red Sox and the Dodgers for making it to the next round. So let's get into those series. I don't have any like odds. We'll do it next week when the series is either over or getting juicy. But let's do it. So White Sox, Astros, and Red Sox, Rays. Those are the 2 matchups here in the AL. How do you see these playing out in the first 5-game series?
I like the White Sox, man. I really like this White Sox team from the beginning of the season until now. They are so solid. He is pitching outstanding. I know Rondon is going to pitch with them a little bit. He's back, so I do like the White Sox in that series. And then going to that Red Sox series, I think you do got to go with the Rays because they're just so dominant on both sides. That small budget. I can't even name half their damn roster team. They're playing good, and it's in Tampa. I'm going with the Rays, man. How about yourself?
I would probably agree with you. The White Sox, I was actually scared to play them last year. When the A's played them in that wild card in the 3-game playoff. And I was like, oh my God, look at that lineup. And then their pitching is still pretty stellar as well too. So, and their manager's a winner. He's proven in the playoffs. So, they got that going for them. The Astros, I don't know. I mean, they got home field advantage, so we'll see. They finished 2 games ahead of them, so they barely squeaked out that. They had to win those last 2 games of the weekend against the A's to get that spot, to get those 95 wins, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a hard-fought series. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rays swept, and then the White Sox, winning in 5. Give me a good 5-game series. And then, of course, on to the next series, the NLDS. You have the Atlanta Braves visiting the Milwaukee Brewers. That's the East and the Central Division winners. And then the Los Angeles Dodgers now officially, you heard it live, Los Angeles the Doyers, they visit San Francisco, McCovey Cove, Oracle Park, and the San Francisco Giants.
One of our many names.
Yeah. What's up, Aaron? Aaron, how's it going? Thanks for joining the chat.
What up,
let us know who you think's going to win all these series in the ALDS for baseball before we get into football. So let's do it. So Braves, Brewers, and Dodgers, Giants.
Man, the Brewers are damn good. They've been on top of their division the whole year. But I like these Braves, man. Even without Acuna, I really like this Braves team. I don't know what it is about them. I mean, Friedman is still just killing it for them. Their pitching's actually not bad either. I think that might be arguably the best series in the playoffs in this first round. I mean, I know they had the wild card round, but I think this might be the best series. It's, again, a hard one to call. I think the Braves win 1 in Milwaukee, then you are beyond happy because Milwaukee's that damn good. I'm going to say Braves, but again, to me, that's the hardest series. In the Dodgers Giants, it's complete biasness because it's playoffs now. Oh, it's all Giants, baby. We're starting Logan Webb game 1, Gossman game 2, Discafani game 3, 3-man rotation. I'm rolling with the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should keep the momentum going. I do hate that we don't have Belt, but we have pitching that's done so damn good. I think our relieving has overachieved, where now it's like they have confidence. It isn't like, damn, they're kind of getting lucky. No, 107 wins, 108 wins. There's a point where it's like, are they really that good? I mean, gotta kind of give it to them. I think we can all agree, as a sports fan. So this is gonna kick some freaking Dodger ass, man.
I mean, I just, this is the first year of like this, era of new Giants playoff baseball, So it's going to be interesting to see how they, like under pressure, the pressure is
100%.
of performing in front of their home fans against the hated rival Dodgers. Now it's not like, the Cardinals, who are like, we don't really have a rival with you. We beat you in the NLCS a couple years ago, blah, blah, blah. But, it's the Dodgers, so let's see how they handle that pressure. The Dodgers have been there before. Most of their players have been there. So just based off experience, I would take the Dodgers maybe in a 5-game series. San Francisco's, they play well. They play well at home, so we'll see. I would probably take the Brewers out of that other series. I think that they've just been so consistent the whole year. I would probably pick them 100%. To win handily. And then we're really not going to get into the business of going beyond this, but yeah, I think we can agree in the AL, the Rays and White Sox, and then I think we're split on the Braves, Brewers, and then I think we're split down the AL, and then we're agreeing on the AL. So,
and I wouldn't expect it any other way. I step out of my Giants uniform and love for them. It's easy to see why teams would pick the Dodgers. I don't go down the route of buying championships, but their roster is true. It's an all-star roster. They're hella good. I sound so Bay Area, but they're just hella good. So, they go and win. I can't sit here and be like, well, how the hell did that happen? No, they're just that good. But I'm going to roll my dogs. They played good this season, hoping, a little bit of that playoff fire comes back, some of that veteran leadership. Hopefully we get the Chris Bryant we hope that we traded for. Yeah. And we'll see what happens, man. Give us a good series.
It's gonna be some good playoff baseball. Matt Souza from CrossFit Livermore, owner extraordinaire of CrossFit Livermore. Thank you so much for joining the chat. We are having a great evening so far, just talking some baseball. But yeah, there you have it. So we're pretty much split on the NL. Let us know, everyone, what you guys think. And we pretty much agree that the White Sox are going to beat the Astros and the Rays are going to beat the Red Sox. That's also a tough division matchup too. Let's not forget, it's just like the Giants and Dodgers. It's they've seen each other a 24 times, almost. So we'll see. So let's get on to the next next issue on the docket is NASCAR. So the NASCAR, the round of 12 is winding down. We had the first race that I had in Vegas that I was there for last weekend in Talladega. That was a pretty crazy one. Kind of, for my guy was, whatever. I was going off on text on Justin Allgaier. He needs to get back down into Xfinity and stop racing with the big boys. But, whatever. There's really nothing he could do there. But Bubba Wallace getting that win, his first ever career win in a rain-shortened Talladega race. And now this weekend we have the Charlotte Roval, which is, for everyone listening right now who's not familiar with what a Roval is, it's the oval and a road course put together. So it's like half of Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then you go they make like a handmade little mini road course. They did it this year at Indianapolis, and they also do it at Daytona. So it's going to be a really good race. Before we get into the Roval, before we get into Talladega, I'd like to give my Yelp review on Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So it was actually really fun. There was no parking issue. Like we didn't park in the main parking lot because we were like, hey, let's try to find somewhere where we don't have to pay, and then we can just kind of not sneak in, but So we went to this lot that was like a quarter mile down the street from where the main parking lot was. And some guy was just standing there, and he was, he had like a cooler. He was trying to stay in the shade. I was like, hey, my man, hey, can you park here? He goes, man, people have been parking here all day. I'm not going to say you can't, So we just parked in there, and then we walked. We went to a bunch of the trailers. I got my sweet hat that I wasn't able to get from the Sonoma race earlier this season, so I got my Kyle Larson hat on. And, it was hot. The hottest was when we were waiting to get into the building, because outside in the parking lot where all the trailers are and stuff, it's the sun hitting the asphalt. So we're just trying to find shade, trying to stay cool. Excuse me. But then when 12:30 hits and the gates are going to open, you got to get in line. So we're sitting there for like a half an hour because we went on to be in 300 people deep in a line, but it's hotter than hell. So then we get into the track, and I don't know if it's COVID. I don't know if it's because they didn't sell enough tickets, but man, half of everything was closed. It was like a ghost town. Right when you got in, there was a bunch of stands open, and I swear to God, I don't know if most speedways are like this, but it when you walked into the just where you walk through the grandstands and stuff, it looked like the Coliseum, bro. It was just concrete. It was just kind of drab, and it was just, I don't know. like I wasn't looking to like walk into Allegiant Stadium, and then there's a racetrack in the middle of Allegiant Stadium. I wasn't looking for that, but at the same time, I wanted like some kind of pizzazz that Las Vegas is supposed to give me. But no, I mean whatever. Like me and Forrest, we walk in there, we grab a bite to eat, and then we get a couple beers. We sit down and have a nice conversation with a couple from Colorado, talking nice. Broncos and just talking, they've been to many, many NASCAR races. This is only like my fourth or fifth one all time. But yeah, and then the race was very, very interesting in the first and second stage. Larson winning the first, Hamlin winning the second, and then Larson falls behind. He has to get from 19th and ends up in like 9th or 10th. But Hamlin pretty much, I think he led like every lap almost in the third stage. No yellows, kind of boring. Me and Forrest left with 10 laps to go, so we could just kind of, shoot on home to his house. But all in all, the experience is really cool. I'm glad I went there. Comparing tracks, Sonoma's still my favorite because like me, you, and Mark, we go to that little dirt area where they get into turn 1 and turn 2, right? And then all you got to do is turn around and then go to the other side, and then you're hitting it at like turn 7, 8, down the chicane. Remember we just went back and forth?
I think the 7, 8. It is a 7, 8. Yep.
Something like that. So, I mean, that was cool. But I would put Vegas above Fontana only because it's a similar track, but because it's a mile and a half, the cars are at you a lot quicker. It's not like the 2.5 mile track that Fontana used to be. It's about to be a short track now. But yeah, so I would put Vegas above Fontana just because the length. I'm not, of course I want to go to Daytona and Talladega, the two longer tracks, but I would probably go with Las Vegas over Fontana. So I guess they're doing a good thing for me, making it a short track. So all we have to do is to get that Bristol feel, we have to go to Fontana when they open up next year. But okay, so Bubba Wallace, amazing story. Finally gets that win. I was rooting for him. It was Monday, so I had the day off, so I was able to watch the whole thing like from home. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, like, it's gonna take like 2 hours to fully dry the place, but they're actually got the jet dryer, so I was kind of concerned that they're actually gonna try to dry this track and resume the race. And then once the rain started again, and then I knew it was over. Man. It's over. Yeah. You're not going to get it until well into the nighttime when the lights are off, and you don't. Obviously, it's over halfway. The race is official. Just end it. And so it's good for him. Good for him, man. I mean, he's put in a lot of work. He's been a race car driver for a long, long time. He's been through the steps to get to the NASCAR to the circuit, and good for Denny Hamlin as an owner. Good for Michael Jordan as an owner. Just like good for the sport in general. Like what more do you want than to get him? Like, shoot, what if Daniel Suarez wins a race next year, or even by the end of this year? It's like really good for people who you would not think normally would be NASCAR fans to like, oh shoot, nice, he's winning too. It's not not to it's not all these freaking white guys winning and stuff.
You can say it, Mike. We're beating around the bush.
I mean, it's not all these white guys winning and stuff. It's like, oh hell yeah, dude! Like they're actually succeeding at this time, and he's a really good plate track driver. So he got second place in the Daytona 500 like a couple of years ago. So I'm not surprised that at any given point he was up there with the best of them.
Well, it's funny because we were watching that race at the same time. You, Mark, and I were texting, and once that Bubba created that third lane, I mean, you create that third lane, and you pretty much win or lose it on that. And more times than not, you lose it on that. And he started getting that push, and you even hear the announcer, Bubba's starting to get a little push in that third lane, and it was just the perfect timing. Yeah. He got the push he needed. Mm-hmm. He got ahead of everybody, and the rain came. And it's funny because it's like almost like a Little League game. You're up. You kind of crossed that point that's gonna be an official game, and you're like, "Come on, rain, come on!" You even hear good old.
He gets out the car and he's like, "Come on, rain, come on, rain."
What's his crew chief's? What's his name?
Booty I would have to go through our text messages, but it was like Booty or something, or
good old Booty. You hear this guy said, "Hell yeah, whoo, come on, rain!" I mean, it's and I'm not going against wanting to win that way. A win's a win, but it was so damn funny that like. Win at any cost, hey, and they did win. So, and I know you have the year probably remembered, the first African American to win 50 years, I think, Mike.
Since it was 1963, I think.
Yeah, so you're pushing, damn near 50 years, and there's just so much history in this sport. I mean, to what Mike said, it's true.
And back then, he won in Jacksonville, Florida, that race, and it wasn't even celebrated. Like they said, it wasn't even celebrated as a win by him. Like it was that long ago, and it's good for him.
It's crazy. Yeah, so you said, it's a sport, it's true. It's dominated by white people. Not in a bad way, it's true. It's what it is.
Yeah,
And to have someone that's not white win, especially someone African American going next year, maybe you'll see a Suarez win. Maybe, down the road you'll see an eight. I mean, just anybody. It's just good for the sport in general because it just diversifies it. It helps the fan base, I think. It helps the sport attract different people. So, yeah, just an awesome thing to see, man. Yeah, good for Bubba, man. That's just some awesome stuff to
yeah.
see.
And I mean, it doesn't, you know, we're so narrow minded when it comes to like who's the best at this or who's the best at that. Like the amount of Latin American players that are just studs at baseball now, like we wouldn't have had that if we were to kind of seclude it just America. You know, even
Yeah,
Japan. A lot of these Japanese players, like Shohei Ohtani, we would never have
they've
known him
taken
if
over.
he didn't get the recognition they did like Japan. You know, so it's really awesome to see some of these sports kind of going out, and you would never find a Bubba Wallace if he didn't come from a racing family. Like I mean, he came from like the family, and so he just paid his dues and he worked his ass off, and now he's get to this point. He deserves to be in that car. Now he's at it's a 2-car team next year. With Kurt Busch going into the second car, and yeah, it's just really glad, it's just really happy to see someone like that who has good character. I know sometimes me and Mark complain that sometimes when he's pissed off he kind of ducks like interviews, but whatever. But no, he deserved that win. He deserves a win. So good for him, and hopefully many more to come. His name was Booty Barker. Booty.
Booty Barker,
Booty
bro. He
Barker.
had probably the sound bite of the year, man.
Yeah.
Oh God, I swear, man, that'd be the funniest thing I ever seen on TV. But no, good race all in all. And hey, we're in the second round. We have another race coming up. How you mentioned earlier in the Roval. So
Yep. The
who's it gonna
last.
be this week, bro?
I don't know. I mean, like, the first thing I always look at is like what Kyle Larson does. So obviously he wasn't able to drive the race last year because 2020. And no, I'm not talking about COVID. But I think they started in 2018. He's starting in the top 5. With all these races that actually have qualifying. Starting in the fifth position, starting in the 7th position, but he ends in 25th or 13th. So I can't really recall why he ended on that. But as far as what I remember, the Daytona road course, he actually was racing pretty good, and then he got caught in like a little crash or whatever, like a little fender bender, and then he was never the same. Mm-hmm. So, looking at just the very minimal stats that we have, you have to look at Chase. You got to look at Chase for the road course.
You ain't lying about that.
I mean, Kyle Larson did beat him earlier this season. I think was it Watkins Glen. I think I'm not sure if it Watkins Glen, but at least he won. He won Sonoma as well. So Kyle Larson's proving himself to be a damn good road course driver. I actually commented on Michael Marutz's live stream, and I was like, hey, cheers to Kyle Larson this week, combining his Coca-Cola 600 win at Charlotte Motor Speedway and his Sonoma win, combining those two into this Roval win. So hopefully he can combine the best of both worlds and win this race this weekend. He doesn't necessarily have to win, but but him crashing and him, spending so many different laps on the pit stops and finishing like 3 or 4 laps down, his cushion of like almost 40 spots dwindled down to like 22. So it's a situation to where like he can't crash again or he's going to be out, and then you have 2 other Hendrick cars in William Byron and Alex Bowman, who are pretty much must-win situations. So you have 2 Hendrick cars who are kind of comfortable with Chase and Kyle Larson. Nothing is guaranteed. And then the other 2 are like, uh-oh.
And I like seeing like those must-wins. I mean, even though that's who they were talking about. I mean, they interviewed them back-to-back, Byron and Bowman. What do you got to do? It's pretty easy. You got to win next week. And, you like that in the playoffs to a degree. Our racers, thank God, we're comfortable. Kind of just don't F up and crash. Just finish the race, and for the most part, you're good.
Yeah.
And it's also the tracks that we're good on, so I think we're pretty safe, as well as Logano, Mark Sky. Obviously, Hamlin. Hamlin's the top dog right now. And you even see, the people that are on the bubble. Your Kevin Harvick, he's only 9 points out, and Christopher Bell, he's 28 points out. So, I mean, it's going to be a shootout for sure. I really think. I mean, it's a road course. It's the good old Roval, but
how many points out is Byron?
Byron is 44.
Okay, so it sounds to me that Bell, Byron, and Bowman, triple Bs, are the must-win situations, and like unless they win,
Harvick doesn't need to win, I don't think, with 9 points yet.
so who's the first guy out?
First guy out's Harvick.
It's Harvick. Okay, so he's the first guy out. So he has to. That's the one that can flip flop, right? Because it's Busch.
Yep.
And then Logano and Keselowski gained a lot of points by finishing like I think second and third in that Talladega race. So isn't it like Logano like in third place right now?
Logano's in third, 1 point behind Larson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So they picked it up. So who do you think, as far as standings wise, who's within 10 to 15 points who could fall out of that, into the Harvick spot? Like Harvick take them over, and then they would drop out and be eliminated this weekend.
Oh, it for damn sure it looks like it could be Kyle Busch, obviously, and even a Blaney.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're looking at Logano, who's 21 points, obviously behind the leader, 1 point behind Larson. Then you got Keslow and Truex tied, 2 points behind Larson. Like they're on, they're on his ass.
Yeah.
And even though Chase is, it looks like 13 points behind Larson, he's also going to a very favorable track. So you gotta assume he's gonna probably do good there. So he's gonna be pretty safe. And yeah, Blaney and Busch, Kyle, they definitely, I think, have a lot of pressure this week.
Yeah, for sure. And, because it's one of those things where you'll race clean for 30 tracks, and this is the one that you get that you DNF because someone else made a mistake, or you just blow a tire or whatever, and then you end up in the wall and you crash. And then all of a sudden you're sitting pretty in third or fourth place, and all of a sudden you're in last, and you get eliminated automatically. It's something like that could happen. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what goes down this weekend.
So I think it's pretty safe to say we're gonna pick our drivers as not just the favorites. That's who Vegas thinks.
Yeah, I'd probably go with one of those two, as long as nothing scary happens. I do like road courses. I also like Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. So some of the Joe Gibbs drivers as well. But I would probably call a Hendrick or a Joe Gibbs win this weekend. Like any of Busch. I don't know about Hamlin, because Busch and Truex I think are better at road courses than Hamlin is. So I would probably pick those four: Busch, Truex, or Larson, Chase for this weekend.
Yeah, I definitely like the Larson Chase for sure, not Truex. And then Truex, and he racing all right too. That's for damn sure. So I think you gotta watch out for that dude.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's get into what everyone's waiting for. Football. Let's start with college football before we get into our super contest. God. Saturdays is so hard for me. Like I'm finding it, super hard to watch college football just because of my schedule. Like I work Friday nights into Saturdays, so I'm sleeping for a lot of the time when those games are on, and then if there's the game of the week's on at 5:00, on ESPN or on ABC, I have to go to work a half an hour later, and then I'm at work. So it's kind of hard for me to really get into and grasp the college football season. I know it's more you and Mark. So any matchups this weekend that you like, as far as either just watching it or if you want to put some of your taxed dollars on?
Well, I do got to just be upfront with last week. I am beyond furious that Stanford won. I mean, I'm happy. Okay, cool. They beat, a number 3 ranked Oregon, but that was just the worst thing for the freaking Pac-12. Yeah. That was our playoff team. That was our chance to get in. Just so everyone knows, we're not going to get a playoff team this year. We're not.
No. Now we're definitely not.
So, it's very disappointing to see something like that, because we go to Ohio State, Oregon wins, they win versus Fresno State, a little closer than you wanted, and then you lose versus freaking Stanford. And I'm not against Stanford, and I'm not trying to make it sound like a hater, but come on, man. It's things like that make you be like, yep, the Pac-12 is still the Pac-12, and yeah, I really don't know what else to say other than that, bro. It's a tough one, man.
It just sucks, too, because, you have, voters now. It's not the BCS where it's a computerized system. It's where you can maybe, kind of get lucky. No, it's voters. It's voters that are that know that the Big Ten pretty much and the SEC are just overall better teams. So when voters see that, every single team in the Pac-12 now has a loss, and it's not against Alabama, it's not against Auburn, it's not against, Texas A&M, it's against Stanford, automatically, nope. That's an automatic. There's, two SEC teams, like
No
automatically. So you
chance.
could just punch Georgia and Alabama in, depending on, you could have a friggin' third team, the first team out of the SEC championship or whatever, so, I don't know. Aaron's talking about this weak targeting penalty at the end of the game. Did you see that?
I did not see that. I know I talked to Aaron and his parents. Hopefully they had a great time. It was a Stanford win. But no, I did not see the targeting penalty. I just seen the result, to be quite honest, brother, and I just wasn't happy. I mean, I'm cool with Stanford winning any other year, but just for the sake of the Pac-12 as a whole, I just really wish that we can get a team in that damn playoffs, man. It's been too damn long. Those USC dominant days. We don't have that. Even with Cal, like, they were half decent at one point. Right now, we just freaking suck, bro.
Yeah.
Diddly poo. But this week, we do got a very fun game that actually, this is one game I've been looking at for a couple weeks and is here. Good old Saturday, Iowa, and they're up to number 3 against Penn State, who's number 4. So that's going to be a fat game. It's in Iowa. I remember when they went and beat Iowa State, they were kind of just chugging along. I think like number 17, number 15. They're up to number 3 with all the movement that's happened. I'm excited for this game, man. I don't know how these teams would match up against like the Georgias and Alabamas, but for like where I see them at, like that second tier, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah. Close spread, too. Iowa's only favored by 1.5. Definitely. I'm seeing right here, too, weird things always happen in Auburn. Weird things always happen in Auburn. And not only do you see a 15.5-point spread, but it's one of those things where I wouldn't even be surprised if Auburn won that game against Georgia. Like, Georgia's been playing like lights out, just amazing football so far this season that I've been able to see. But Bo Nix, man, and that offense, we shall see,
Well, that's the thing about Georgia. When you're hearing about them, it's all defense.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think like 99.99% of the time, it's like, oh, yeah, defense wins championships. It's all about defense. And more times than not, it's true. It is about defense. But in college, too, you do get some of those surprise performances. And if there's a game that I think Georgia can have a hiccup, Georgia can be surprised. Georgia, hopefully they, don't fall asleep. It's this game versus Auburn in Auburn because, Auburn's that same team that beat Alabama a few years back in Auburn. So, them going against the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs, I wouldn't be surprised. Don't get me wrong. Georgia's good. I remember last week, Mark and I were talking, and Mark's like, I like these Razorbacks. Arkansas, they're a damn good team. They got that ass whooped 37-0 versus Georgia. Got handed to them. So they're the truth. Georgia is the truth, but I do see where you're going with, hey, that could be a hiccup game, and we shall see, just like you said, bro.
If I were to pick like a lock of the week, just because, we see some of these things, like those trends, like I would pick Arizona State to cover a 13-point spread at home against Stanford, just like Stanford coming off that huge win and just lay an
looking at
egg.
That right now, ESPN Prime Time.
Yeah. Dude, so come Thursday, no, that's Friday night. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm looking for an ass whooping when I check my phone at work for sure. And then one more game that I saw, where was it? Look at San Diego State in the top 25. Look at that. Where the hell did I see?
Not me.
I know. Oh, I was going to say Michigan. I think the first time under Jim Harbaugh, they're 5-0, or I saw something about first time under Jim Harbaugh was something. So, good for them. They're playing 3-3 Nebraska this weekend. So, but they're only given 3.5 points on the road. So we'll see. Number 9 against an unranked team. So that's kind of fishy, but we'll see.
That's a recipe all over it. I mean, Notre Dame going to Vatech after that loss for Cincinnati. I think Notre Dame, they definitely get back on track. Seeing what you just seen in San Diego State, getting that top 25, good for them. I think I seen correctly that Fresno State is in the top 25 as well.
Nice.
So good for Fresno State, the Bulldogs. So now we got some fun games this week. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. It was a little but starting to get more of these good ranked teams playing each other, and there'll be some upsets in the making. We'll see, bro.
Yes, sir. So to round out sports, we have NFL football. So week 4 saw, 3 out of the 4 teams who are still undefeated actually lose. Denver loses to Baltimore. The Rams lose to still undefeated Arizona. And then me and Mark's Raiders lose to the Chargers on Monday night. So now you only have the Arizona Cardinals in Sean's division. The Niners lose again. Jimmy G is out. I'm seeing conflicting reports where it's like, I hope it's not more than a couple weeks. But then it's like he may be able to play this weekend. So who knows about that one? Sean, what do you say? You're, not Mel Kiper, but who's the guy who always reports? Yeah, you're Adam Schefter. So what say you on this Jimmy G, Trey Lance, scenario right now?
It's not hard. I mean, when Trey came in and I had some of those people, oh, he threw 2 touchdowns. I'm like, you're right. And he also had moments where he had to cock that arm back. He was too slow.
Just look like a rookie.
He's a rookie. And that's the thing. I'm not even blaming him.
Yeah.
He's just not ready. He's not ready. And when I see these people just throw him out there, he can't be that much worse than Jimmy. If you throw him out there, you're pretty much throwing the season. Jimmy is not that bad. We know what we have in Jimmy. If he's healthy enough to play, I start Jimmy. No questions asked. Don't get me wrong. I get Trey snaps because Trey has proven he has some intangibles that he doesn't need to get up to speed too much for. When he's zinging, you expect to run. He can still toss it. He's a freaking quarterback. So, again, you just got to not be so obvious with certain things. The defense had like 7 3-and-outs last week. We sacked Russell like 4 or 5 times. The defense was great. We outrushed him by almost 200 yards. We just couldn't score the freaking ball. It's straightforward. That's what it was.
Yeah. And and neither could Seattle. Seattle had like -8 yards in like the second quarter, and all of a sudden in the second half they just kind of light a fire under their ass. And they made those second half adjustments. So I don't know. It's
This is one of those things too where I could see us going to Arizona and winning this football game. I really could.
That's the thing. Like 2-2. Is that your first pick? Because you're picking first this week.
I am picking first this week, and that unfortunately is not my first pick.
Okay, that's not your first pick. All right.
It is not. I can put that out there. It is not my first pick.
Okay, cool. So we have an updated of the standings for the Comic Bookie Super Contest. We had myself and Sean go 2-2 last week, and Mark went 1-3. So updated the total standings. We started week 2, so through week 4, Sean is 6-5-1. Mark is 4-7-1, and your boy, I am 3-8-1. Folks, I did go 0-4 last week, so 2 weeks ago, so don't kill me. But everyone listening or watching live right now, it's not too late. We can have a side fan contest. Please just DM us or email us or whatever your top 4 picks against the spread every single week, and the winner at the end of the season is going to get a nice prize pack from yours truly, the Comic Bookies podcast. So this week we have an NFC West showdown on Thursday Night Football. We have a game in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London between the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. Our Niners are... Wow, what did I say that for?
Say it again. That sounds really good.
Say it again.
That was really nice.
Yeah. Your 49ers are playing in Arizona, and my Las Vegas Raiders are at home. This is like that kind of side game where we don't play the NFC East. It's not, this is like that random game that just gets thrown in there because now it's 17 games, but the Raiders are at home against the Bears. So, Sean, you're picking first since me and you did tie. We go week to week, but you have the better overall record. So, sir, you are picking first for this week's Super Contest. What game and why?
I'm going to go with the team that I think is proven they are arguably the best team in the AFC, with a sophomore quarterback who is looking like it is not going to be a sophomore bust season. The LA Superchargers.
Okay.
-1.5 at home against the Cleveland Browns.
Nice. Okay. All right. So Sean goes LAC -1.5. And so not because I need to gain games. It was actually just one of the games I looked at. I was like, you know what? They played really good on Monday. They played really good, especially in the first half. They let up some points, but this is that letdown game. Cleveland didn't play well, and they still snuck out a win. I'm going opposite of you, trying to gain a game. I'm going to go the Cleveland Browns going in there and covering a 1.5-point spread, but I also think they're going to win the game too. So I'll take Cleveland at a +1.5.
I like that. I like that. You're watching your pregame shows, going opposite of me, I see.
Right? Shoot, I don't have any time for any pregame shows. I get home and I fall asleep, and then I'm like, all right, cool. Get me, go ahead and wake me up at 9:55 before the 10 o'clock games. I set my lineups like at work on, Saturday, or like when I'm getting home and I'm pulling up to the driveway at 6:30 in the morning on Sunday. That's when I'm setting my lineups. So via Mark, he's going to, here's his proxy picks. So going in order of what he likes, let me scroll to the game real quick. There we go. So he's taking, the team that can't really play at home very well. They've lost, I think, 2 straight games at home. back at home from a loss in Green Bay, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, that he's going to continue with the facade that is the Denver Broncos. Who knows? I'm not sure if Teddy Bridgewater is hurt also, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are only giving 1 point at home against the Denver Broncos. So if you were, classically thinking as far as, handicapping and spreads are concerned, they actually have the Broncos as the better team, but, Pittsburgh gets 3 points because they're at home. So Pittsburgh -1. Sean, you're up for pick number 2.
To my Niner fans, we had nothing but love. You guys know me, ride or die. And if you guys actually hear me pick this team right now, you're probably going to be like, that must be just better's money. I'm taking the good old Cowboys.
Ooh.
-7 against the New York Giants.
All right.
You know what? Cowboys.
Okay, I see that. So Cowboys good, -7. Okay, cool. That's one of those fishy ones, dude, because they've been absolutely dominating. They've been scoring like 35, 40 points a game. Okay.
And I'm also looking at the flip side, though, is, the Giants won in New Orleans. Maybe they're not that bad. Nah, the Giants are not that good.
Okay.
And that's my mindset.
Okay. All right. Maybe that's why the number's so low, is because they're giving them some love for winning in New Orleans and screwing up my pick last week. I can't believe you guys took all my picks, and I had to take +16 for Houston, bro.
I didn't even have the picks out. But it's funny because
how do you not take that? How do you not take an NFL team to cover 16 points? And then it's raining.
39 points,
and then it's raining, so you're like, okay, this is a low-scoring game for sure. Yeah, low-scoring for the damn Houston Texans, 40 burger for the freaking Bills. God damn. To answer your question, Aaron, yes, please get in on our picks. It's not like with us. So we won't, you can go ahead and pick the 4 games that you like the most. We're not going to say, oh, no, I already picked that pick. This is like a side fans thing. So go ahead and send us your picks every week, and we'll keep a tab of it. And then the fan, because not everyone's going to get to pick, week to week, I guess. So the fan with the best winning percentage at the end of the year will get a nice prize pack from us. But what he's saying right now is she goes... Jets +3, coming off a good win versus the Titans in London. Anything can happen. Give me the JETS, Jets versus Atlanta. So he's taking that. And then he's also taking the Washington football team +2 versus the Saints. Seems like a smash for me, too. I think they win that game straight up, too. All right. So that's his two of his 2 picks. So please go ahead and, text Sean or message us on the Common Bookies Instagram page, and I'll get those 4 picks written in for you, bro. Nice. Okay, so my pick is next. Let's see. I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm not touching that London game. I never want to. It's like
2 bad teams in London. Oh,
God. You fall asleep and you wake up and it's like 28-3. It's like Thursday Night Football, when Thursday Night Football was like on NFL Network, and those 2 crappy teams. Like, someone always just gets absolutely murdered in those games. Let me see. Let's do. Okay, let's do. What do I want? I was looking at these earlier, too. Let's see here. Okay, I got one for you. Lost a heartbreaker. They almost won the damn game.
Pick my team. You have to pick my pick right now.
Wait, hold on. Was it this week or last week? No, it was 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. Been. 2 weeks ago, they lost to a record-breaking field goal. They had it.
Oh, okay.
And I actually thought that they were going to go in and actually, compete with Chicago. Another division game. Minnesota, they barely beat Seattle. They barely beat Cleveland. They're at home again. Come on. 0-4? 0-4. You can't go 0-5. I have to take the points. I'm going to take Detroit with the +9. They're giving me 9 points this week in a division game. Go ahead and give me that road junkyard dog, as Mark calls him. Give me that road dog.
I like it.
Okay, so
good
Detroit.
Choice.
So Mark's going. Let's see, Detroit. I think I know what Mark's pick is, too. I think his second pick was the Raiders. +9.
Is it the Raiders?
Yeah, so he's going to take the Raiders. He has it at -5.5. I also have it at -5.5. So Mark, the resident Raider fan, he's the fan. I'm the apologist. He's going to take the Las Vegas Raiders at -5.5. I wouldn't touch it. I don't know.
Nice.
I wouldn't touch it. It's one. I don't know. Like, you hope that they're going to come back and play like they did in the first 3 games, but you also are fearing that, dude, you're on your 1 day less, like one less day of rest, and are you going to play at that again? Like, I don't want to come out in the first quarter and then be dead as a doornail again, and that was just going to scare the hell out of me for the rest of the game. I don't know. I hated playing catch-up last week. Hated that. So, Sean, your pick number 3.
Taking my surprise NFC team, the Carolina Panthers, at -3.5 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. All right. That's actually, I kind of like that pick because Eagles, they're so up and down to me. And Carolina, even, have they been without Christian McCaffrey too?
They lost last week versus Christian McCaffrey, and I mean, they were in that game in Dallas the whole game. If it wasn't for that interception late in the game, they played good.
Okay, so Sean loves these favorites, and my friend Vegas would love you. Okay, pick number 3 for myself. Let's see here. Let's go to a contender in Sean's eyes to a pretender in my eyes. I'm going to ride my Super Bowl pick strong. I'm taking them. I'm taking the Packers on the road to go into Cincinnati and covering the 3 points. It just seems like they're giving Cincinnati too much love. It's pretty much a pick 'em at that point with the Bengals giving 3 at home. But Joe Burrow, they've been playing nice. They've been playing some nice football. But no, give me Aaron Rodgers. Give me the veteran. Give me the hopefully they get what's his name. Jalen Smith, and especially if he plays, I'm going to grab this number at 3. It might go up to 3.5, 4 by the weekend. So give me the Green Bay Packers -3.
Good choice.
Okay,
I actually did look at that game.
Taking my first favorite of the week, Mark's next pick. He's going opposite of Aaron. He's going to the London game, and he's going to take the Atlanta Falcons -3.
Taking the birds. The birds.
For me, it's a toss-up. I think a lot of those games, most of those games are like blowouts, so it's like which one's going to blow out, who. So Aaron's taking the Jets to blow them out, and Mark's taking Atlanta. So Atlanta -3. Sean, for your last pick of the week, sir.
Well, I'm caught between 2 games right now.
Okay.
Which I will say it is favorites, of course. And just because I see injuries on one team, I have to go with the other team. And I'm going to roll with them one more week. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs at -2.5 against the Buffalo Bills. Primetime Sunday night at Arrowhead.
Okay. Bills aren't going to get that revenge yet? Not going to get it just yet?
You know what? I will say this. Knowing my luck, they're going to get revenge here. But in the AFC Championship, it will probably be the Chiefs. But hopefully, if things go how I want it, I'll let the Chiefs get this game, but the Bills get the AFC Championship.
Yeah. I'll stick with, let's do, I think, okay, yeah, I'm going to go here. Because this quarterback plays really well in primetime. He puts on shows for the fans. They played really well on the road. Beat that pretender Denver last week. Just totally smacked him. I've kind of changed my opinion over the last 12 to 15 months on Carson Wentz. Or is it he's not even playing, or is it?
Oh no, he's playing, but you just can't tell.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget because Jacoby Brissett. I always forget he's not there anymore. He's there. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take the Ravens. So I'm going to go 2-2 again on favorites. And it's a heavy number, -7, but hopefully maybe they can win by a touchdown, and then I can maybe push. But no, I'm going to take the Ravens. The Ravens always play really well on primetime. They beat Kansas City in primetime. They always put up some big numbers points wise. So hopefully I can get the same thing. I'm going to go the Ravens at home against the Colts, -7. And finally,
Mark's last pick.
Last pick is, did we take any of his top 4 picks? Yes. Detroit +9, which was taken by me. And then the Cowboys was taken by you, -7. Here it goes. Here comes the Houston +16. Carolina -4.5. So you got -3.5. So there's Sean. And here we go. Wow. 2 straight weeks that a bunch of picks are taken, and some low sack of shit has to take the Houston Texans at a +9. So Mark Fagundes takes the Texans +9. And watch my
See if
luck.
the Texans are friendly for him and
Watch my luck.
like,
They're going to cover. They're indoors or at home against, New England Patriots. Watch, they'll cover. They'll lose, but they'll cover. Watch. But that's your picks for the Super Contest of the week. That was the sports in general for the Comic Bookies podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's see if we got anybody on the chat. Oh, Aaron is just... Yeah. Go ahead, Aaron. Send them to our DMs. Yes. Yes, tough bit. Okay, cool. So thank you so much to everyone who's been joining our chat so far, everyone who hopefully in the near future joins the Super Contest. But this is the Comic Bookies podcast. We're going to take a short break, grab another drink, but we're going to come back, and we have a short segment in comic books this week. So stay tuned. Be back in this jiffy. And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for jumping on and joining us, joining us, colliding the worlds of sports and comics as we do every single week. This is episode 127 of the Comic Bookies podcast. We are brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Catch us on all social medias at the Comic Bookies. Email us, thecomicbookies@gmail.com. And please, subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Please give us a 1 to 5-star rating. Give us a review. It goes a long way into kind of shaping how we kind of, shape our episodes and our content and stuff. So please let us know how we're doing over these last, Sean, 2.5 years, 127 episodes. It's been a great run, man.
Just getting started. That's the good thing. And
Yes.
like what Mike said, give us a 5 or a 5-star rating. You guys pick
5 or 5.
narrow it
whatever you
down
want.
for you guys. And like what Mike said it best. We definitely are going to keep colliding the world of sports and comics. But the more we get to interact with you guys, hear your guys' feedback, as well as you guys interacting, we'll see what kind of works, doesn't work, what you guys like. And ultimately, we're having fun doing this. And we want to give you guys something for you guys to be entertained by. So, yeah, just keep, checking us out. Join our super contests. Read the books, recommend books that we want to read. And, just good times, guys. Good vibes.
And tell your friends. Tell your friends who like comic books, who like sports. I've been sometimes, like, when I get some free time, I kind of go around to different podcasts. Like, I search some stuff, and I'm not trying to put anybody else down, but I mean, like, no one else does what we do. Like, they might be better than us because of either they have the money to spend on different equipment or whatever, they have a studio, or they're sponsored by certain things so they get money or whatnot. But I've never heard anybody do what we do. They might be a sports, podcast, and they say, "Hey, did you see that new Venom movie? Oh yeah, let's talk about it." But like, no one actually seeks that stuff out, and like, that's the whole aspect of their show is sports and comics. So I know plenty of people who like both. So I hope you do. I hope you're listening right now and you can recommend this to at least 5 people. How about every single person who downloads this episode right now, go and share this to 5 of your friends or family. Just, that's it. That's all it is. And then have them do the same thing. Do that little chain email where it's like, you're going to get bad luck for 10 years if you don't share this with 15 other people. Like, do that email chain or whatever,
Like that.
But yeah, everything is much appreciated. Thank you so much. But let's get into the comic books. So we have plenty to get into. Like we said, if you've been following us for a long, long time, we're not really going to review last week's episode or last week's books, the books that came out like on, what was that, the 29th or whatever, because I kind of get my books late. So we're going to do the ones each week. We're going to review the ones from 2 weeks ago. So this week, though, coming out on Wednesday, October 6th, you have Batman 114, The Nice House on the Lake, number 5, The Swamp Thing, number 8, Arkham City, Order of the World, number 1, that's a new one, and The Joker Presents Puzzle Box, number 3, and we also get Wonder Woman 80th Anniversary 100-page special, so get that one. Plenty of variant covers I've been trying to grab, too. Over on the Marvel side, Amazing Spider-Man 75, New Mutants 22, Excalibur 24, Dark Ages, the new story number 2 comes out today, and Captain Marvel number 33. Image Comics, The Me You Love Me in the Dark, The Me You Love in the Dark, number 3, and The Righteous Thirst of Vengeance, number 1. It looks like a pretty cool story. Mighty Morphin, number 12, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer 30 comes out from Boom Studios. AWA gives this book called Out, number 1 today, and Aftershock gives us Almost American, number 2. I really dug the first issue, so excited to see what number 2 gives us. Sean, so I guess I can start with books, because sometimes we might forget like what actually came out 2 weeks ago, but some of my more favorite ones, actually, like going back on it, I think my favorite issue probably Batman the Detective, number 5 of 6. Tom Taylor's story's almost done. Batman's in London, kind of activates all of the Batman people, the Bat people in his circle. It's pretty cool. I definitely dug that.
I liked it a lot, bro. It's really, really good. And I remember when we first got there, I was like, we'll see. It's just, straight up, it's just another Batman. You're like, Tom Taylor, you got to get it. You're going to like it. And, bro, I'm really liking, I can't think, the lady, that's in the Batman outfit, pretty much the villain. What's her name?
Equilibrium.
Equilibrium. And they even kind of give, like, her little story.
Her backstory was cool.
Her backstory, I loved it. And I was like, okay, that's why I'm liking
that's why
this
she's
book
killing
so
all
much.
the people that Batman saves, because they couldn't, because the person that he
Save her
saved
husband.
ended up killing her husband and son. Husband and son, or husband and daughter.
Wires. Yeah, it was. I think it was the husband and the son.
Yeah, it was both of them, because the guy that he saved ended up the drunk driving. Yep. Yeah,
so,
crazy.
No, I'm loving that book. It's a good one, bro.
Yeah, definitely cool. So let's see what is going forth. Yeah, it's pretty much just they gave the the backstory of her, and then it's like, she's coming for you, so be ready. So him and Batman and Squire got to get ready for her. She's coming.
And she was trained by masters. You can even see the scene where she's fighting Batman. He literally says, like, if it wasn't for him having those goggles, like, she would have like had her fingers in his brain, like she was whooping that ass.
Yeah,
so.
No, for real. What'd you think of Alien number 7?
I liked it. Beginning of the new arc, I believe. So it was cool. So it seems like they pretty much have like an established like colony somewhere. It seems like, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And
Yeah.
it was a little slow, but then again, it is the beginning of a new arc, and then you see like this little space vehicle type crash, and they go and explore it, and sure enough, what's within the people that are flying this spaceship?
Yeah.
Freaking alien.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. They're taking like, is that the same? Is it the same ship that came down that we saw in the first arc? Is it the same thing, or is it just kind of like a different story? Because now it seems like now those aliens are like where like Earth is supposed to be, right? So it's definitely a good story because I got kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of confused. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. That story ended like up in space, right? Like where the dad, where he ended up getting killed, yes. Right? And so I think that might be the same spaceship crash landing now, where it's like, wait, hold on, their shields, their fire shields aren't up. But wait, they're gonna crash land, like So I think that might be what it is, and now they're gonna have a story arc to where they're being unleashed like on another group of people. Crazy.
Oh, they're unleashed, all right. I mean, typical, just like in the first arc, once they start getting pain in their stomach or chest, you know why. There's an alien within them, and I ended like that, and they're introduced to the aliens. So let's see what this second issue has in store for us, for sure, bro.
Nothing too much to write home about on Moon Knight. This was issue number 3. Like I said a couple weeks ago, I'm going to give it till issue 6, and if it like captures my attention, fine. But if after this first arc or whatever, if that's even how Marvel does it, I think I'm dropping it.
I was talking to Alex because I went last Friday and Mark was there. And I mean, obviously, I'm not reading the volume of books that Alex is on. Or, even maybe like you're on. I'm not there just yet. But I'm definitely, volume's getting up. But one thing, like I asked Alex, I was like, and it was more just like a casual question. Is it ever like too early to drop a book? And he said no, because there's new books every week. And if you actually just don't like a book, like drop it, to be honest. Like, I was asking him, like, do you read this? Do you read this? He goes, yeah, I read the first one or the second one, And he's just like, yeah, I just dropped it after. Not that, if he has a pull list, and he probably does. But it leads me actually right into the next book I wanted to bring up, The Flash. Because we didn't fall under for so long. So I feel like bad if I would even drop this. But it's just like, to me, there's like no excitement in reading it right now. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, and this felt like I was texting you guys, this felt like an annual. Like it felt like kind of like a side story, like an off story, right?
Completely, bro. It was just like this new character, Dr. Nightmare, a cool little spiel. Everyone go to sleep. Like him and his daughter, like, oh, ha, ha, ha. You can use your powers and help me this time. Okay, he's captured. The end. It was like his own little side story. It had for damn sure nothing to do with the art. Yeah. So I'm just kind of like,
because
I don't know, man.
I kind of feel like I told myself that I would always get Batman and Detective, and I would always get the Superman and or action. But for the most part, since I've been getting comic books in 2016, they've had pretty good art. I mean, yes, art, but the stories are pretty good. Like Peter Tomasi, Bendis, they were all writing on Superman. We've had Action Comics. We've had, Tamaki, we've had Tom King, we're having Tynion right now with Batman. Like Detective was good too. I think Tynion actually was on when Detective started with Rebirth. I think Tynion was actually on Detective and then soon went to Batman. But everything's been good. Like Williamson was actually really good in the beginning and kind of faded out, like wasn't like horrible. But now this guy is kind of like, he's okay. But like I asked myself, why am I treating The Flash like those 4 books? Like I shouldn't. Like, why am I not finally dropping The Flash? Is it because that I've picked him up since literally The Flash Rebirth number 0 or number 1 and then started that? Yeah. Is it because I'm the completist? I don't know. Is it the same reason why I keep finding myself watching Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl? Yeah. Which actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and sidebar this. Legends of Tomorrow is kind of wacky. It's always been like that. But Batwoman's actually not bad. Like what they're doing right now with Black Mass, like as I'm catching up, it's actually not too bad. Like Supergirl's the one that's like, oh, it's very boring. I'm glad this is the last season. Legends is just kind of like funny in its own way, like super sketchy aliens and like they're traveling through time so they get to wear different costumes and stuff like that. It's kind of cool like that, But actually, Batwoman like took a step forward this season so far, where like Black Lightning was like on a very stagnant through the whole thing. Now that's over. Supergirl's over, and automatically Lois and Superman and Lois, that is up there, right there with Arrow and Flash, right there.
Easily,
it is really good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that, bro. I love it. I know you're still catching up on your shows. I mean, dad life. But, oh, bro, Superman and Lois, it doesn't miss a beat, bro. I love that show. Good one. And, they're obviously still doing, I used to watch the Goodbye Cisco show. And you can see, obviously, Flash. I mean, even the Flash show, it's,
I'm actually in the middle of of the episode where Psycho Pirate's there and where they're trapped in like that psych ward, like in their head. That one's actually pretty cool. That's like a freaky little like Halloween-esque episode or whatever. That episode's actually pretty cool. I'm enjoying that one so far. I just finished the episode on Superman and Lois. I just finished the episode where it was all of the townspeople are infected, or not infected, but they got the Kryptonian bodies in them, and then they put Clark's mom's subconscious into Lana, and then helped them make the thing that kind of like freed them. Like the dad was a like the Kyle was a Kryptonian, but they finally cured him. I just finished that episode, so we'll see how the rest of the season ends. I'm wondering when Steel's going to come back, because John Henry Irons is Steel Superman, so I'm gonna with the hammer and everything. I'm really excited to when
he's badass, bro. I like him.
I'm really excited to see when he joins the crew. But yeah, going back to comic books, only one more I wanted to talk about real quick was Stillwater. Man, Stillwater. I always, always come back. It's only 10 issues in, but it's really, really cool. Just like a town that, like, when you go there, you don't age. Like you just don't age.
I like that.
That's it.
I caught another white hair on
But
me
then
today.
again, you have people who want to stay in power, and like, you have a judge and you have a sheriff and everything who kind of treat it like a dictatorship. And what happens when a guy comes in from the outside and then they find out that that's actually he used to live there, and someone secretively brought him here, to kind of change everything. And now this 10th issue ends with all the little kids who are now like 40 or 50 years old, but they stay in the same body. They've pretty much taken over the town of Stillwater. So you have all the little kids, like it's
little shits.
Little shitheads. Yeah, they've now taken over the town, and they're in charge of the punishment. And like if you're deemed to be unsavable, and no amount of jail time is going to be is right for you, they take you to the edge of the town and then put a bullet in your head, because now you actually die. Because if you're in Stillwater, you fall off the Empire State Building, you take a shotgun right to the chest or whatever, you're gonna like live, like you're everything grows back, like you're fine. But that's how they get you, is that they take you to the end, the outside the town. So, yeah, so that's my comments. Anything else from the books this week, or what you're excited for this week? I'm excited for, of course, Batman was good last week too. 2 weeks ago, and I'm excited for this week's Batman as well.
A book that I'm reading, and I know Mark is reading, we actually talked about it a little bit last week, and I had a note that for sure was going to bring it up this week with you, a good old Boom Studios classic, Eat the Rich #2. Bro, okay. It's good. And it's something I for damn sure would, I could see you liking it. I really could. The second issue, pretty much the chick who went to this nice, rich, freaking weirdo house with her boyfriend. Like, they're weirdos, bro. Like, they pretty much kill somebody there. They, like, make fun of them, and then they kill them. And, like, they're all kind of like, okay, they killed them. Like, that's what happens. Just something happens. And everyone kind of pretends like nothing happens because it's normal to them. And she's, like, here trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Where the hell am I at? And she talks to someone who works there kind of as like a maid, but she's kind of in on it too. She's aware of what's going on. She's like, yeah, I'm sick. They give me money for my insurance to pay for my illness. And she goes, yeah, but they're killing people. Oh yeah. That's kind of normal here. So it's kind of like, what the hell? So it's just second issue, but it really weird like aspect to it, but you would like it, bro.
Okay.
It's a good one.
This week I'm excited, I guess, for The Nice House on the Lake #5. Just what a freaky ass book that Tynian's writing. What else? Probably Almost American.
Fierce.
Almost American for sure.
You've been talking about that, bro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. I mean, only one issue in, but it definitely feels like the Americans, the show. Before we get into the news and other headlines and reviews and stuff, I want to give a shout out to Sam Adams. Finally here, my Oktoberfest, one of my favorite seasonal beers. It's like honestly, when you go to an Applebee's or a restaurant, you're like, hey, what do you have on tap? And it's like the third week of October. Sometimes they're already gone. So please, when you go to a Costco and you go to stores, a restaurant, dude, this Oktoberfest, just those caramel hints, like, oh my God, so damn good.
I definitely need to work my way to Costco this weekend and get myself a pack.
I got my box. Get yours, folks. Okay,
Good marketing.
I know, right? So let's go ahead and get into the pieces of news, headlines of the week before we get out of here. Rockstar launcher, they have like a launcher update, and they actually give a tease on Grand Theft Auto Remastered Trilogy. How sick would that be for our generation, bro? Grand Theft Auto 3, where the guy doesn't even talk, and then Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and then San Andreas, a remastered trilogy, dude, that would be so sick.
I want to see the Sentinel remastered, the car.
I mean, granted, you're about to have a baby, so none of us would have any time to play the game, but just the thought of it is pretty damn awesome.
You know what, bro? Don't remind me of the whole part not being able to play the video game, but the whole baby thing. Oh, definitely can't wait. But oh, dude, Grand Theft Auto, bro. Me and you, bro. We cannot remember. We remember clearly when that game came out. This guy doesn't talk, but those missions were so badass. You're working with the mafia. You're still in Sentinels. You have like that Doom buggy car that you drive through. You go to the car wash. I mean, dude, that game was so freaking dominant going through. That was pretty much New York. I mean, pretty much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And oh man, like I said, dude, that was one of those games like okay, they need to make more and more and more of these, which they did. And seeing a remastered version of it, you almost have to buy the original. It's the first one ever. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, it's actually it's really dope. And like what I don't know, like the music too, like the music in Vice City and San Andreas, just so sick all across the board.
Vice
Whether it was
City,
the country,
bro.
the rock, the rap, like everything, the soundtracks, V-Rock. Like whenever I hear like a random song that was on V-Rock, I'm like, oh, that's from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Like I don't know who else in this world is like saying that. Like maybe it's that song's from your childhood or you're not thinking of that. But there's a handful of songs where I'm like, yep, I've heard this 1,000 times, and what do I think of is Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Bro, Vice City, dude. I swear, that's one with the Faggio, right?
That's the Faggio. Yeah, because you have to say it. You have to say it like an Italian, because if you say it like an American, then you're gonna get in trouble nowadays.
Hilarious, dude. We're talking about video games here, but oh man, hey, you know what? That was just the childhood, bro. Those were hella fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, one day, we'll get it, and then one day we'll be able to play it. So when we're old and decrepit, and that's all we can do is just can't hardly walk, just stay and just stare at the TV for 14 hours a day. Ben Affleck has recaptured the fun of playing Batman. Of him filming his scenes on The Flash. It's really lovely and really fun, to quote the great Ben Affleck. So it's good to hear that he's having fun again, playing Batman, which now bodes the question, come on, come back. Come on, come back. Let's do more Justice League. Let's do this, dude. If you're actually having fun again doing Batman, don't stop now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when I read into that, I seen that article also. I don't know if it was an article like where I seen it, something related to it, but they said specifically going from Justice League to Flash, he said it was just like what he needed, because he said doing the Flash was not that much fun. It was just hard. It was, it was obviously a long movie, a lot that went into it, but he said doing Flash, he just was having fun with it. He was just had a good time with this. So, but you said, man, hopefully, kind of gets in that like, okay, give him that little pick me up, and he does do more movies.
Well, especially if
he's a good Batman.
Well, especially if this Flash movie does well financially too. And people on the reviews and on social media are like they're hounding for more, like they want their jonesing for more Ben Affleck and stuff. Maybe he may be inclined to do more. Let's give a few shout outs in the chat. Perry Comics, Vice City was dope. Thank you so much for joining the comments.
Good call.
And Sean, is this a family member of yours? S Salgado says, shout out that guy Mark. Is it someone who Mark knows, or is someone in your family?
Oh man, I'd have to see who. I don't know, bro. But hey, what's up, S Salgado?
S Salgado, please reveal your first name and your relationship with Mr. Mark Fagundes, because Sean, whose wife's last name is Salgado, does not know who you are. So please. Come join. Please give us all your information, your address, your phone number, your social security number, and give us your firstborn child. Anyways, No Time to Die, the most recent Bond movie that's coming out this Friday. Internationally, it's already made $119 million, breaking records. Man, I wish we also, had a lot more time, with all of our work schedules and family and everything. I wish we had more time to give those reviews, because a lot of those movies, we don't have the luxury of buying Shang-Chi on Disney Plus. So I unfortunately we can't give reviews on Shang-Chi, can't give reviews on Venom, can't give reviews on Bond. Well, actually, is Bond going to be on streaming, or is it going to be only in theaters?
I think it's gonna be a theater only movie.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll see him when we see him, and we'll give a review then. But man, I've been dying to. I think that's going to be one of the first things.
It's Bond, bro.
Yep.
It's Bond, man.
I know.
Come on now, take that gulp. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. There it is. Oktoberfest at its finest. But to what Mark said, or Mike said, Bond, we've seen damn near every Bond. I love them all. I can find something good in any Bond movie. And Daniel Craig, it's unfortunate that he is doing his last movie. But then again, when you kind of look at the theme of all these Bond movies, they usually do, 3 to 5 movies, give or take, each actor. So it is kind of that time, like, okay, we'll get to the next Bond. And with all the things in society, I know they've kind of mentioned, hey, an Idris Elba, perhaps. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's about that time, maybe. So I'm cool with that.
That'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool, because it was Idris Elba for actually a couple years. And then they throw out Tom Hiddleston, Loki. And I was like, no. Don't go away from Idris Elba. We need Idris in there. Like, he needs to be the next Bond. No questions asked. Yeah. But yeah. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to, go see these other movies. What I really want is that House of Dragons first trailer.
Oh,
it's 2022. Ooh. I know, and I'm not surprised, but at least it's not like, here's the first trailer, and this new Game of Thrones show is going to be on 2023, So finally get the first full trailer for House of Dragon. The Targaryens, 200 years before the Iron Throne falls. So, Sean, how excited are you for this new show?
And it didn't give us too much other than 200 years before. Mm-hmm. You've seen obviously some faces, some lighting. It didn't give you too much, like I said, but it's Game of Thrones related. I'm all in. I'm gonna watch it for sure. I mean, they wouldn't make this without thinking, okay, we know we have pressure.
Yeah.
Especially with that last season of Game of Thrones, especially with okay, people weren't the most impressed, but collectively that show was one of the best shows I ever watched. So no, excitement's through the roof, bro. I need more shows, and this is one of them I'm definitely excited for.
Yeah. And we're also with you, Perry Comics. He's saying that Shang-Chi, Venom, he wishes all these movies were streaming. Because mm-hmm. it's a lot more convenient, and especially Disney Plus, they're going to charge the $30. That's the same thing that they would get at the movie theater. So whether it's in the movie theaters, helping AMC and helping Cinemark and Edwards and all these other theaters stay afloat, or if it's just you're getting the money at the same time, paying the $30. So, but going back to Bond, it's like, you're right, Sean. Those movies, doesn't matter what time of the year, what time of the day, I can watch any single one. People have their mm-hmm. cult classics. You have the people who love their Godfathers and their Casino and their Goodfellas, those ones. You have the guys who like the Blood In, Blood Out, the Boys in the Hood, the Dead Presidents, those kind of gangster movies, But Bond movies, man, gotta love them. And there's 20 something, they're almost up to the Yankees, in number of championships. So, so can't get enough. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for who's going to, be playing the next James Bond. But our last topic of the night, if you can't see right now, obviously the picture where Mark is supposed to be is the Many Saints of Newark, a Sopranos story. So we're going to go ahead and give you an advisory right now. I'm going to, you're going to hear it on the podcast when I, edit in the sound, but, whoop, whoop, spoiler alert. We're going to give you some spoilers for this movie. So, let me just say the first thing about this movie is not technically the movie, but my wife, who doesn't usually like kind of the more violent things, which is crazy because she watches, Game of Thrones and everything, but then other things that I want to watch, I don't want to watch that. It's too gory or whatever. But she absolutely loved this movie, and now she is currently watching Sopranos right now. Like, she loved it so much that she wants to now continue the story into the Sopranos. So I'm ecstatic because I am so down to watch that series all over again with her. But Sean, let me get your review of The Many Saints of Newark, a Soprano story.
I really liked it because I think the movie itself actually was good. And I like that it didn't just completely focus on Tony. There was obviously, a good amount that was focused on Tony, and it made me think there was points where, damn, Tony, you a dork. Like, but you also like some rock music. He's also like his son in The Sopranos. That's like, holy crap. Like, they do share like some common things. Like, okay, I can see it. Even like baby Christopher, you see him in The Sopranos. You see all these characters like, okay, damn, starting to put some pieces together. The movie, it wasn't, I think, like how you mentioned, like Danielle, like she doesn't like gory movies. Actually, it wasn't like terribly gory.
I mean,
for the most,
I told her, I was like, there was like 2 scenes where she had to, cover her eyes. The one part where they put the lug nut, wrench, the electric wrench in the guy's mouth, and you just see teeth going around. Like, that was some Goodfellas, some casino shit right there. And then another one was, shoot, I don't even know. Someone getting blasted like by a shotgun, something like that.
Yeah,
I forget. There was like one other one where it was like a headshot or someone got blown away with a shotgun or whatever. So she was like, "Oh shoot!" and she like kind of covered her eyes. But when a gunshot happens that quick, she saw it. Just because she covered her face doesn't mean she didn't see it. But I definitely liked it. I mean, the worst part for me is that at the very beginning of the movie, if you had not seen the Sopranos show, the voiceover was Chris Moltisanti, and he tells you, the viewer, oh yeah, like he ends up choking me to death, like Tony Soprano. I'm like, oh cool. So like now I know what happens when I'm watching the whole damn show of the Sopranos. What happens between Tony and Chris? So it's kind of like
if you watch that first,
it kind of gives that away. It definitely wouldn't deter me completely from watching the show, but in the back of my head, I'm going to always know that that's how he dies, So, but other than that, I definitely like the, Junior and, Paulie and Pussy and I just love all those guys. Just the mannerisms too. He was like, hey, Tony, like the same thing from the show. The casting was amazing. And of course, why the hell did I not know until today that was, what's his name's son? James Gandolfini. That was his Michael Gandolfini played young Tony Soprano. I had no idea. I don't know why I didn't see that in an article or think to look him up on IMDb or whatever. But no, just an amazing overall cast. I did one thing I was confused about was because remember they said that they couldn't have a baby. Dickie and the wife. So I was like, oh, dude, like, how much you want to bet that Chris is going to be from the Italian chick that, I thought it was going to be her, but of course they,
I thought so too.
All of a sudden when the dad comes home from jail after 4 years, they say, oh, here he is finally. So I guess they just kind of wrote in that he was finally able to have the kid with the wife, Dickie. They're finally able to have Chris with the wife.
Even like, Ray Liotta with the Italian woman. I mean, Ray Liotta's son wasn't too happy, bro. The way he was treating all those women, and he messed him up in the garage, bro.
Dude, in the garage. And then when you saw him, when he put him down on the ground to light him on fire, that huge just gap in his forehead in the shape of the steering wheel. Oh my God.
The thing is, too, is just like, even like Ray Liotta, obviously, playing, his twin in prison. He goes, oh, it's weird because he never, picked up tools or anything. He knew that his son probably killed him, bro.
Yeah.
Because when his son was talking to him, oh, dude, without a doubt, he knows that his own son killed him for sure.
I mean, that was the start, too, of him having the towel, like kind of like cleaning his hands off, like, get the F out of here. Like, no, like, get out of here, like he knew.
Come on now,
and he's not dumb, dude. The funniest part, oh my God, I was laughing. I had to pause. I was laughing my ass off because you don't think that you're gonna hear anything really funny in the movie. It's a really serious movie, but before you saw Michael Gandolfini playing young Tony Soprano, it was the one where the dad gets arrested playing the card game, right? And then the cops bring the brother and sister. Tony and Janice home, and the mom comes out. What happened? Like, what were you guys like? Why were you guys in there? Oh yeah, well, like they were gonna take us in to play cards or whatever, but I passed gas at lunch, so Dad didn't let me come in the thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but just like him innocently saying, yeah, pretty much I farted, so Dad wouldn't let me go into where the card game was. Oh my God, I just had
Tony
to
as
pause
a
and hell
kid was
laugh.
hella funny. Tony was like that kid, like, oh man, he had to get tough quick because he probably got hella picked on, man.
Yeah, no, for real. But it was a really good story, a really good
Mhm.
movie. Kind of concentrate on everyone too. Like it was really like it was a Sopranos story. Like during that time, during the Vietnam War, where there was still and unfortunately, like what we see today, just the civil unrest, like during the civil rights movement and everything. Like when those buildings caught on fire, and
Mhm.
and like me and my wife were like, dude, how much you want to bet that they're gonna blame like Harold and his crew or whatever for the dad's death. You know what I'm
Of
saying? Like
course.
it's always gonna be something like that, and they finally go to war. Harold is not playing around with that shotgun. Holy crap! When he blows that guy's head off, like, dude, that was a dope scene.
Harold's that dude, man. He was even sleeping with, the Italian woman behind old boy's back. So I mean, Harold, he's slick little
I could have
brother.
called that a mile away. When they kept every scene
And she's
staring
staring
at
at
each
him.
other, like I just knew that they were gonna freaking knock boots, man.
She got a little jungle fever, man. But it was funny. She goes, "Oh, I thought it'd be different sleeping with a
There's
black
no.
man, but it's the same."
Yep, yep. Unfortunately, I'm neither. So
Uh,
hopefully I do okay. But yeah. And then she had to go and tell him. She had to go and tell Dickie that yeah, it was just like one time or whatever. Like I love you. Like oh well, sorry. You just admitted that you're cheating, and during that time in the early '60s, you admitted to cheating with an African American man. He just drug your ass out into the ocean and drowned you, and just left you there. Like oh my God, poor girl.
Out of all places to tell them to get away, they're walking on the beach, not a soul in sight. Like, why the hell during that time frame would you tell the Don, the big dog, like, hey, by the way, I cheated on you one time with a black man?
Yeah.
Uh, it's pretty much saying, yeah, I'm ready to
Yeah,
die
I know,
now.
right? Like you
I
couldn't
don't.
tell like over dinner in like a crowded restaurant, you know? Oh my God. Or like gone
Good
back to
movie
like it, or like gone
overall.
back to Italy or whatever, and then wrote him a letter or something. Like sent him a postcard. Hey, by the way, I screwed Harold.
Little eggplant or something.
Yeah. By the way, so but if you were to give your like Rotten Tomatoes score out of 100 or out of 10, what would it be for the Many Saints of Newark for the fans?
In the 80s, somewhere in the 80s,
Yeah.
and eight something. Yeah, 80s is good. I mean, it was a good movie. There's nothing bad about it, in my opinion. And I watched The Sopranos before watching this movie, and now it makes me just want to rewatch The Sopranos because I love those kind of little mafia gangster type movies. But no, it was good overall,
And then you
definitely.
pointed out, you were texting, it was like, dude, how cool was that? Like the very last scene, and then like leads into the theme song of The Sopranos, dude. I was like,
Got
oh,
to.
dude, fire that up right now. Fire The Sopranos up right now. So yeah, a damn good movie, a prequel to a damn good show. So if you're interested, please go on your HBO Max, dude, watch that movie, and then watch The Sopranos if you have not watched either. But really, really good. So that's it. That's it for the comic books, and that's it for the entertainment. And that's it for the Comic Bookies podcast. Episode 127. I'm glad that I was able to get back in from, coming back from Vegas, and then just us taking a week off before Vegas, and it's good. So a treat for everyone next week. Our sponsor, Alex Johnson from Treasure Island Comics. He's going to be on the show next week, so please don't miss it. So the four of us, myself, Mark, Sean, and Alex, will be on to talk Dodgers Giants, Rams football, dude. He's an LA guy, so
Oof.
it's gonna be a very entertaining sports section, even though he's our comic book sponsor. So Sean, take us away for 127, man.
Oh man, it's always fun when it's a Wednesday or Tuesday with the Comic Bookies podcast, colliding the world of sports and comics. Episode 127, another fun one, man. You got MLB playoffs, you got NASCAR playoffs, you got Warriors preseason, you got NFL football right now. I mean, you got the WNBA playoffs. I mean, what more do you want, guys? And then all the news that we talked about, book wise, movie wise, there's so many just good things happening in the entertainment aspect. But to reality, real quick, hopefully, just everyone's doing good health wise. Everyone's families are doing good. Everyone's maintaining, a good state of mind. We're still in a pandemic. Let's not get away from the obvious, and just, everyone just be safe, be smart. Again, just good energy and good vibes. Keep tuning into the podcast, guys. Again, it's free. We're just a couple guys who have a good time talking about fun stuff. Shit that everyone likes. Hopefully, give yourself an hour to 2 hours, just hang out with us. And like what Mike said, you guys can tune in, you guys can chat with us. All the people that came on today, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And again, don't stop here. You guys want to chat with us, check out our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Mike's going to give you guys all those details. Shoot us a message, shoot us, recommendations and what's so. And again, it's a weekly thing. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it and as much as we are. And thank you for everyone that joined.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, dude. It's that season. My house just went through it. So take your vitamin C, your zinc, all your men's, women's, and kids vitamins. Like vitamin up. Wash those hands, just like we relearned to do during the pandemic. Hand sanitizer and all that stuff. Just do the normal, basic, things that you should be doing. Either way, even when it's not a pandemic. But yeah. Anyways, there's my PSA about washing hands and staying clean and not sick. But yeah, dude, go out there, hit us up on the DMs. For all of you who are still viewing or listening right now, please go ahead and join our super contest. Again, your top 4 picks in the NFL against the spread, hit us a DM or on the email. Do this every single week, and then by percentage, the fan with the best percentage win is going to snag a nice little prize package from the Comic Bookies podcast. But yeah, again, thank you so much. For Mark, who's not here, he's going to be here next week with Alex as well. That is Sean. My name is Mike. Thank you so much for watching, listening, downloading. We love you all. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. I'm going to go get some sleep. Peace out.
Peace.
Here we go. Like every week. And always enjoy each other. And don't forget to go... I don't know. Go support your AMC and go to those theaters. Don't worry about the streaming. Go and get your popcorn, get your candy, get your sody pop, and go watch yourself a movie at the theater. All right? Especially the many saints of Newark. All right. Peace out, guys. See y'all next week.
Peace. Yeah, the sody pop.